Welcome to this session, this personal branding webinar. My name is Folashade Daini, and I'm a content strategist, I'm a content creator, I'm an author and speaker as well, and I live in Ottawa, Canada. And I'm just super excited for this opportunity to share, tips about personal branding with you. I know for one that personal branding works because it literally changed my life and moved me from 0 to 100. It didn't look obvious at the beginning. I mean, when I just started sharing stories and when I just started being intentional about building my brand online, but sharing those stories literally opened doors that I could not imagine for me. In this session, I'm going to explain what it means to build a personal brand, and I'm going to show you how you can build your personal brand in practical steps. As you listen today, please make sure you plan to use everything I share. Your story is a powerful tool. Your personal brand is a powerful tool. It is time to use it to your advantage. So what does it take to build a personal brand? As I move forward, I'm going to be showing you some of the slides. So you still be hearing my voice, but most of all you'll be seeing are my slides. So what does it take to build a personal brand? Number one, it is very important, and I feel like the term personal brand has made it such like people are afraid, oh, I have to do something, I have to build a brand. But to be very honest, at the most basic level of it all, personal brand is storytelling. Personal branding is storytelling. You're literally sharing bits of your journey, relevant bits of your journey with people as you grow. So if you can learn how to tell stories, you can build a personal brand. The number two thing is that another thing that really stops people from building their personal brand is the imposter syndrome. They feel like, am I sure? Am I really qualified? Am I overstating what I have achieved? But I'm here to say that to build a personal brand, don't feel bad about having imposter syndrome, because it shows that you're actually doing something right. It shows that you are moving and you're putting in the work, and that now you're putting in the work and you're aiming for higher things. So the fact that you even feel the imposter syndrome is a positive sign. So don't feel bad about it, but don't let it limit you either. Then the third thing that is really important, what it really takes, and in this case I'm talking about like the mindset that you need to have. Number one, I've mentioned that you just need to know that it's not hard. It's storytelling. You're literally learning how to tell a story, how to share bits and pieces of your life. Then the second thing is that you also need to know that having imposter syndrome is not a bad thing. It just means that you're doing something right. Then the third thing is that you need to be authentic. I know that we are in a generation, and we are in a generation where people say a lot of things about themselves, that sounds good online, but it's not necessarily true. And the temptation for a lot of people, a lot of young black people who are just trying and setting out in building their brand, might be to copy those people and make things seem grander than they are. But I'm here to tell you that authenticity is what you actually need. Authenticity is what will set you apart from the crowd. It is called personal for a reason. We all have a unique set of quirks that makes us us. You have that unique set of quirks, personality and skills that make you you. Now, what will make you stand out with your personal brand is making sure that you let that real you shine through without forming or pretending to be something you're not. And then finally, the last mindset you need to have is to be vulnerable. Yes, I know that the temptation again is to want to appear as if everything is fine, as if you've got it all together. But sharing bits or pieces of places where you tried and some things didn't work makes you human, and it makes you relatable, and it just makes people connect to your story a lot more. So practice vulnerability. I'm not saying you should share anything that you're not comfortable sharing, but I'm saying that let the real you show. Let the fact that you don't have it all together, let it show. So next, I'm going to be sharing what makes a good personal brand, because a lot of people are trying to build personal brands, but because of a few mistakes that I'm going to highlight here, their personal brands are not original, and people can spot when you're not being original from afar. So what makes a good personal brand as a young black person trying to build a career and trying to build a successful life for yourself? The number one thing, again, like I said before, is to be original. Be true to yourself. Don't try to be someone else or create like someone else. And another thing that is super important is being relatable. And in this case, I'm going to share a relatable story with you. So I am from Nigeria, and in Nigeria I studied veterinary medicine. However, I noticed when I got into the job market that the hours were long and the pay was short. Now, when I started sharing my story, these were the relatable stories that I shared. And an average person who studied medicine or veterinary medicine in Nigeria or any other medical related course could relate to the pain point. So sharing the fact that I spent 7 years in uni studying veterinary medicine, but I found out that it wasn't really what I wanted because it wasn't giving me, the flexibility and the income to live the type of life I wanted as a young black person. A lot of people were able to connect with that. So identify things that you have in common, and with your audience, and use them in your content as you share your stories. And don't worry, I am going to teach you how to share your stories. Then another thing is that another common thing that I've seen with people that have very strong personal brands is that they are not selfish. They are audience centric. Right? And what that means is that yes, you're sharing your journey, but you also want it to be in a way that positions you, as a resource to help people. I am telling you, this is a game changer. It literally moves you from 0 to 100. When you start sharing your stories with the aim to help and uplift other people, it just changes everything. So being audience-centric means focusing on people who are like you, who are coming up after you and sharing things. You might be sharing a story about yourself, but still finding a way to make it about them, about how they can do it too. And then finally, be authentic. I've said this, your content would have better conversion. You connect with people more, right, when you're authentic. Just try it and take my word for it. Okay, so now you've heard what makes a good personal brand. You've heard the mindsets that you need to have. You've heard that you have to be authentic. You've heard that you have to be original, and you've heard that you have to make it about the people you're sharing with. But then you're like, oh, how do I start? How do I even know what to share? What do I even want to do? What do I want my personal brand to be around? Initially I told you that I used to be a veterinary medical doctor, and that was what people knew me as. So when I started building my personal brand as a content strategist and content creator, I had to, define what I wanted. So this is where I'm going to show you how to start. I would say the first thing is to define who you are. You want to define what you can do. You want to make a list, of the things you want to be known for. So let's say you're currently in uni, and you're studying business analysis or you're studying project management. You want to define, okay, these are my skills. This is my preferred JD, or maybe you're in one career and you want to move to another, or maybe you're in a career that you even like, and you just want to build authority and you want, to build a brand in that niche. So right now is the time to make a list of, what you can do, what your skills are. And don't worry, again, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to share a resource that will help you do that as we go on. And then another thing you want to do is that you want to make a list of people who are likely to find value in your skills, a list of people who are likely, so what this means is that you're making a list of people maybe who want to transition like you, so you can share how you did it, or people who want to get into that career as well, or that's like a list of number one, people. And then another set is the people you want to work with, the people you want to hire you. So make a list of those people. And then another good way to start is to check what people in similar niches are doing. So one of the things that I do, and one thing that I really say, is that do not compare yourself with people you're supposed to be learning from, right? When you're in an industry, you're trying to build a brand, there will always be people ahead of you. So one thing you can do very well is to watch how they do it, the type of content that they share, and then share it in a way that is unique to you. Now, I am not saying copy what they say verbatim. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying check the type of content that they share, then share it in your own unique way. One thing you can do is that find a sample of these people. This list that I just told you to make. Find a sample of who they are, in real life. Some of your friends, you most likely have friends in that career path as well, and ask them, well, what problems are you facing? How did you get to this part? And then whatever they tell you, you can use it to form the type of content that you will share. It just gives you like a very good idea. I always support like talking to people. It always helps. And then finally, you want to align the kind of content. The first thing I told you to do is to make a list of define who you are and define like your JD and the type of skills you have in this niche that you want to be known for. Whether you want to be known as a business analyst or you want to be known as a project manager. And then you want to align the kind of content that you share. And next, I'm going to be showing you how to do that in a way that is original and in a way that it's human. So how do I start? I said list out your skill and your preferred JD. And this is mine. So mine here says I'm a content strategist. My display name, and that's like the name I use across all platforms, says my name is Folashade Daini. So a one-liner that summarizes what you do. What I do is I help brands grow with their engaging content. Don't worry if you have to write this 10 times and over and again before you can get something this succinct. The most important thing is that you're defining who you are and you're practicing, and then you will get. It took me a long time, to come up with this succinct, line that captures everything I do. So don't worry if it takes you that long. And then you also want to summarize your profile, what you do, So, and this is very helpful. This looks like a long assignment. It looks like it will take you a while, but it's super helpful because now, when you now want to share your brand on LinkedIn, on Twitter, you already have a base to pull from. In your bio section, you're just not putting, different random things that don't really explain your professional experience or capture who you are. You're putting something that you've put a lot of thought into. So please make sure you do this, after this session. So now let's move to what can I share. A lot of people, the challenge that they face when building their personal brand is that they're like, oh, what can I share? What kind of content should I share? Should I just announce when I've gotten a promotion or when I've taken a course? In this section, I'll be explaining the things that you can share, and I'll also be giving you relatable examples. So number one thing you can share personal relatable lifestyle experiences. And now this is the mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to build a personal brand. They try to just talk about work and the things that they've achieved, but the truth is that as a human, you are a 360 person. You are multi-dimensional. And sharing a bit about maybe you went to play volleyball, and then maybe your team Arsenal won the Champions League finally, or you learned a crocheting skill or something that, or maybe you just graduated as a chef, or something. Sharing personal relatable experiences is super helpful. It's a type of content that you can share. It makes you relatable, makes you human. And see, the amazing thing is that I have connected with people and gotten jobs over things that are not even professional, something as maybe as simple as maybe a kind of movie that we bonded over, or a sport that we played together. So don't be afraid to show that part of you as well. Then the other thing you want to show is your journey so far. Nobody is an overnight success. I don't think anybody, even people that appear to be, are not. So you want to share where you've been coming from. In my own case, I share that, I used to be a veterinary doctor, I got dissatisfied, then I took courses online, and then I became a content marketing expert. So make sure every now and again you want to go back to your journey, you want to share you got there, you want to bring people along. It helps people see that, this person has actually invested years into their skill and they are fit to be called an authority in this niche. Then you can also share industry insights, your own unique point of view, maybe about AI, or about how AI is changing the industry. Make sure, again, you're being authentic here and you're being true to yourself. And then another type of content that you can share is your value proposition. What you do, how you do your work, and how you do it differently. A very good way that I do this is that I let people know that apart from being a content strategist for enterprise SaaS firms, I'm also a content creator. I'm also a very good storyteller. So I try to bring my value proposition that when you're hiring me, or when I'm sharing my stories about the results I've gotten for clients on LinkedIn, or even in my CV, I always try to put this value proposition. So your value proposition is your set of skills plus anything extra that you build, that you bring to the table. So you want to, that's something you can also share in your personal brand content. And like I said, I have something for you at the end of this webinar. So make sure you keep watching so you can get it. And then finally, positive testimonials. Maybe you got a very good feedback at work. Don't keep it to yourself. Apart from keeping a swap file, which is important for days where you feel like, I'm not good enough or anything like that, but also make sure you share them online, right? Just share. I remember there was a time when my CMO in the Canadian company, that I got before I moved to Canada, shared this very good review, and then I put it on Twitter that, oh my God, this just made my day. Doing that is providing social proof that, Folashade is really good at what she says she's good at. So if you have any positive testimonials like that, they are perfect for building a strong personal brand. So when can I start sharing? And this is another thing that I see with a lot of young Black people. They're like, when should I wait until I'm an expert? I'm literally just in year one, or I literally just graduated college. Am I fit enough to share? But the truth is that at every stage that you're in, there is someone that can learn from you. So no, do not wait till you're an expert to share. Share now, start sharing now. Someone needs what you know now, where you are now. And the truth is that you have a unique combination of experiences that no other person has. What is common to you is treasure for someone else. So stop the self-sabotage and literally start sharing now. And when it comes to like, when can I start sharing, I tell people that you can literally, if you are taking a course or you just moved, you can literally just share what you are learning. You don't have to position as an expert. No, just share that, oh, I'm learning this, or I've learned this and I got this results with it, right? So where can I share? I would say if you're trying to build a corporate personal brand, LinkedIn and Twitter are gold mines. And I know you probably rolled your eyes at LinkedIn, but I'm telling you that LinkedIn is a gold mine when you know how to use it properly, when you are being authentic. There are a lot of people that are inauthentic, but they're not your focus. So you just focus on your building your own brand and go there, share, make genuine connections with people who are also being genuine, and you would realize that it brings a lot of opportunities. And then Twitter as well. Twitter is a bit Twitter or X, right? Twitter is still a bit informal, but it's still a great place to build a personal brand while still being yourself. And then for social platforms, if you want to build a personal brand as a content creator like myself, you can do that on YouTube, on Instagram and TikTok. I feel like YouTube is a bit of a mix of both corporate and socials, so you can feel free to add YouTube to your corporate option as well. How often, this is another question that I get, how often should I share? How often should I post content? To be very honest, I think this question is subjective, and you can decide what consistency means to you and stick with it. So for you, if consistency is posting every day, then fine. But don't feel pressure to post every day because you think that that's what is the norm, right? But if you're just starting out on LinkedIn, for the sake of being out there and putting yourself out there, I would say you should try to make sure you post at least 3 times in a week, for at least for the first 3 months. For the first 3 months that you're just putting out content. And I feel like it's very important to say this because a lot of people feel stuck in their personal brands. Oh, I've built a personal brand as a veterinary doctor. How do I now move into saying, oh, I'm now in tech? But the truth is that you're human and you're allowed to evolve. Your personal brand is a living, breathing narrative that evolves with you. So stay true to yourself. Keep telling your stories, right? And watch your personal brand open doors you've never dreamed possible. If you feel like there's a need to shift, do it without apologies. Evolve. The fact that you've built a brand as a content strategist or as a project manager or as a finance professional does not mean that if you have a new interest, you cannot move into that. Okay, so finally, this is the last slide. Thank you so much for staying with me up until this point. And like I said, I have a free resource for you. So I've created this free 21-day personal brand calendar, content calendar for you. I really want you to succeed. I really want you to build a personal brand that opens doors for you. And that's why I've taken, a step further to give you what you can start using. After this session, I'm sure the organizers of this program will make it available to you. Just download it and start customizing the templates, to fit into your own story and start sharing. Please feel free to tag me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn username is Folashade Daini. I'm Folashade Daini everywhere, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. Tag me to it and I will be happy. I'll be very happy, to reshare and to repost with my audience and to support you on your journey. But I really want you to build your brand. I really want you to put it out there. And if you start building your brand and maybe you got you stop for a reason, this is a very good time, to continue and kick back. And then finally, I have a video from Rennie the Resource. She's my friend and a content creator as well. And she's one person I know that also has a very strong personal brand on revamping your LinkedIn to attract recruiters. So now that you are intentional about building your personal brand, part of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that your LinkedIn is up to par. And this video from Rennie is going to be super helpful, for you. I've attached everything here so that you can have, access to it. Thank you so much for joining this session with me. I hope that this session has shown you what you need, at least the basics, to start building your brand and to know that there is no limit to what you can achieve as a young Black professional, in your career. You only need to put yourself out there. You only need to share your experiences, share your stories, share your journey, be committed to it, and you will build so much success that you'll be amazed at the doors that your personal brand opens for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.